1909. Its main purpose was fortification in the defense of Washington. Since its inception, Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall has been the home of horse cavalry, artillery, and infantry. Today, it is home to the Old Guard, the United States Army Band, and the United States Army Garrison. Before today's review begins, the United States Army Band, Pershing's own, presents a pre-ceremonial concert featuring the following musical selections: Stars and Stripes Forever and the Klaxon. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Army Band.
so. Then, but.
Instruments.
Once again, good afternoon and welcome. Today, the United States Army Military District of Washington, represented by the soldiers of the 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, and the United States Army Band, Pershing's Own, pay a special tribute to several soldiers who are retiring after many years of distinguished service to the United States Army and our nation. Participating in today's review, from left to right, is the United States Army Band, Pershing's Own. Formed in 1922 by then Army Chief of Staff, General John J. Pershing, the United States Army Band is the premier band of our senior service. Pershing's Own provides musical support for ceremonies and special events in our nation's capital and throughout the United States. The United States Army Band is under the direction of Captain Bonnie Alger and led by Drum Major Rob Moore. Elements of the Old Guard include Honor Guard Company, commanded by First Lieutenant McGovern and led by Sergeant First Class Alfonso Roman. Next on line is Delta Company, commanded by First Lieutenant George Ladner and led by Staff Sergeant Randall Hoover. Next on line is Bravo Company, commanded by First Lieutenant Peter Howell and led by Staff Sergeant Benjamin Negley. Following is a Commander-in-Chief's Guard, patterned after the unit created by General George Washington in 1776 to be his personal guard. The Commander-in-Chief's Guard is commanded by First Lieutenant Jack Chen and led by Staff Sergeant Blake Cameron. The last element on line, dressed in the Continental Musician's uniform, is the United States Army Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps. During the American Revolution, musicians wore the reverse colors of their parent infantry unit. The men and women of the United States Army Old Guard Fife and Drum Corps maintained this tradition by wearing red coats instead of the infantry blue. The Corps is led today by Drum Major Barrett Newman. Ladies and gentlemen, moving into position is the Commander of Troops for today's ceremony, Lieutenant Colonel Maxwell B. Papas, Commander, 1st Battalion, 3rd United States Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard. Since the days of the American Revolution, the colors have been one of the most important elements of a military unit. Therefore, taking the center of our formation in just a moment, and bearing the national color, is the nation's foremost color team, the 3rd Infantry Continental Color Guard, led by Staff Sergeant Trevor Kemp. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the advancing of the colors.
Advance the colors!
Please be seated. The history of the 3rd United States Infantry Regiment reflects the growth and development of our nation. 55 well-earned battle streamers, 2 Valorous Unit Awards, 3 Meritorious Unit Commendations, and 5 Superior Unit Awards attest to the Old Guard's record of bravery in action and achievements during peacetime. In 1922, the War Department granted permission for the Old Guard to pass in review with bayonets fixed. The Old Guard will now fix bayonets to the traditional beat of the drum.
Sound, fix, bayonets!
Ladies and gentlemen, taking the reviewing stand are the reviewing officials for today's ceremony. Colonel Douglas Bennett, Chief Warrant Officer 5, Jason Wu, and Command Sergeant Major Maurice Parker, accompanied by the hosts, Major General Trevor J. Bradenkamp, Commanding General, Joint Task Force, Military District of Washington, and Command Sergeant Major Vern Daly, Joint Task Force, Military District of Washington.
Order!
Coast ready, cut.
Halt! Raise! Rest! Sound off! Staff, halt, rate, rest. Old guard, Pershing Zealous. Attention!
Right shoulder. Coast ready, cut.
Sir, field guys are prepared.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the advancing of the colors and remain standing for the United States National Anthem.
Forward! March! So the Pershings to be honored and colors are present.
Present the command. Shoulder, fire, locks, and 1, and 2, and 3.
Present! Arm!
And 1, 2, and 3.
Detachment! Present! Arm!
Please be seated. General Bradenkamp and Command Sergeant Major Vern Daly are now moving into position to honor the retirees. Please, feel free to applaud your soldier as they are called. Headquarters, Department of the Army Special Orders. By order of the Secretary of the Army, the following soldiers of the Department of the Army are retired. Colonel Douglas Bennett, Strategist. Chief Warrant Officer 4, Jason Wu, Special Forces. Command Sergeant Major Maurice Parker, Military Intelligence. Colonel Faith Chamberlain, Logistics. Colonel Gary Cooper, Medical Service Corps. Colonel Joshua Davis, Engineer. Colonel Todd Handy, Finance Corps. Colonel Mark O'Neill, Infantry. Colonel Tony Sabo, Military Intelligence. Colonel Tammy Fougier, Army Nurse, and Lieutenant Colonel Paul Fougier, Aviation. Lieutenant Colonel Eric Barkey, Foreign Area Officer. Lieutenant Colonel Travis Hacker, Field Artillery. Lieutenant Colonel Randall Jackson, Military Intelligence. Lieutenant Colonel Felicia Robinson, USAR. Major Robert Dowdy, Chemical. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Dorothy Robinson, Quartermaster. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Charity Stewart, Signal Corps. Chief Warrant Officer 3, Robert Strickland, Ordnance. Sergeant Major Teresa Baker, Adjutant General. Master Sergeant Douglas Michaels, Military Intelligence. Master Sergeant Justin Randall, Electronic Warfare. Master Sergeant Sean Warren, Military Intelligence. Sergeant First Class Paul DeVoe, Signal Corps. Sergeant First Class Miriam Foxinski, Quartermaster. Sergeant First Class Michelle Gaborel, Quartermaster. Sergeant First Class Javier Negron, Finance Corps. Sergeant First Class Richard Teniente, Quartermaster. We are proud to recognize these soldiers' devotion to our country, and we wish them happiness and prosperity in their well-earned retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the posting of the colors.
Post the colors. Stand right, face.
Please be seated.
Coast ready, cut.
Ceremonial. At ease.
Cook, stand at ease.
Step. Ceremonial. At ease.
Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Bradenkamp.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing today? All right, it's a beautiful day here at historic Conmy Hall. So welcome to Fort Myer, Joint Base Myer-Henderson Hall. Distinguished guests, senior leaders, commanders, command sergeants, majors, friends, and above all, distinguished families and soldiers to be honored here today. Thanks for making time to attend this retirement ceremony, and welcome. On behalf of the Secretary of the Army, the Honorable Dan Driscoll, Chief of Staff of the Army, General Randy A. George, and the Sergeant Major of the Army, Michael R. Weimer, welcome. It is truly a beautiful day here in our nation's capital, and it's a great day to be a soldier. Before I address our distinguished retirees and families, I would like to take a moment and thank those who worked so tirelessly to make today's ceremony such a special occasion. On the floor in front of you are the soldiers of the 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment, the Old Guard, the Army's oldest active-duty infantry regiment. You look tremendous, and your professionalism and precision honors those retiring here today. So thanks for what you do, your hard work and dedication, and thanks for serving in our Army. I would also like to take a moment to thank the members of the U.S. Army Band Pershing Zone. As always, you look and sound amazing and make these ceremonies all the more special. So the soldiers retiring here today joined the Army to be all they could be, some following Desert Shield and Desert Storm, others after America was attacked on 9/11. All have stood ready to meet the challenges and uncertainties of the global war on terror and brought almost 2 decades of continuous combat operations. They stand here today representing the best of America. So today we honor 28 soldiers and their families for their faithful and dedicated service to our nation and for being all they can be. Collectively, these soldiers represent almost 750 years of military service across our Army. 750 years. That's pretty good. With service around the globe and in a variety of combat arms, combat support, and combat service support specialties, these soldiers, leaders, and their families answered our nation's call and have not only served during a period of persistent conflict, but also led and trained our young men and women to deploy into harm's way and to do our nation's bidding. Our Army and our nation owes you a debt of gratitude for your service and sacrifice that can never fully be repaid. The medal and U.S. flag are but a small token of appreciation for your service. I would like to take just a moment to talk about our flag, Old Glory. That you receive it on the occasion of your retirement is significant, and that it is the symbol of our nation and recognized around the world. We have fought to protect the freedoms and our way of life, and we wear the Stars and Stripes proudly on our uniform, both at home and while deployed. The red color in the flag symbolizes hardiness and valor, which each of you has personified as a soldier and leader in our Army, operating in austere conditions with limited resources to accomplish difficult missions. The white color refers to the purity and innocence which you sought to protect, both here at home and abroad. And the blue color represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice, which each of you has demonstrated in the conduct of your duties as officers and non-commissioned officers. I am sure the flag holds special meaning for each one of you, as it should, given your service to our nation. As you walk out of Conmy Hall today, take solace in knowing you leave behind a legacy, an enduring legacy that lives on in the countless soldiers you have trained, mentored, and inspired. The Army is better because of your service. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for these 28 great soldiers. But we would be remiss today if we did not take some time to thank the family members of each of these retiring soldiers. Your sacrifice and support over the past 20-plus years of service has been foundational to the success of each of these retirees, allowing them to accomplish their assigned mission and serve the Army that they love. You have remained steadfast in your support during a time of war that necessitated family separations, and for that, you will never adequately be compensated. Please accept our eternal thanks on behalf of a grateful nation for all that you have endured as military families. We could not fulfill our obligation to our soldiers, the Army, and the nation without the love and support of our families. So again, please join me in a round of applause for the families of our retirees. To our retiring soldiers, thank you for your service. You are warriors and soldiers for life, so I humbly ask that you take on one last task. Tell the Army story. Help to maintain the all-volunteer Army by sharing your experiences with America's sons and daughters so that they may be inspired to follow in your footsteps and volunteer to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We continue to serve as a shining example of around the world because men and women like you have volunteered to serve. So again, on behalf of Secretary Driscoll, General George, Sergeant Major of the Army Weimar, the Joint Task Force National Capital Region, the Military District of Washington, the United States Army, and a proud and grateful nation, thank you, good luck, and Godspeed. This will defend and be all you can be.
Pass and review.
Old guard, pass in review. Right, face. Right shoulder.
Right middle.
Arm. Forward. March.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Army Song.
Sir, this concludes the ceremony.
Well done, Old Guard and Pershing Zone.
Step forward. March.
The United States Army is honored to have presented today's special ceremony. Thank you for attending, and enjoy the rest of your day.